I know that, but it's...
You guys can do it. Come on, let's keep going. Today is April 28th. It is Sunday, and after all that storm last night with all that wind and rain, we've got beautiful sunshine today. It's just gorgeous. We just went to our church here this morning, and now we're getting ready to go to Mesa Verde again. We got that appointment this afternoon at 3 o'clock for the cliff dwelling tour. We're excited about that, and just exploring that national park. That'll be great. Seems like we were just here yesterday. Deja vu. Okay, turning in the Junior Ranger booklets.
Yep.
Before we go up there, because it takes about 45 minutes to get up to the cave area, and that way we can then, after the tour, stay up instead of having to come back down here to turn in the papers before they close at 5. Until 6:30, and it starts at 8 in the morning. So the movie they show here is every half an hour and on the hour, and explains about the history, how about 1200 after Christ the Pueblans started the cliff dwellings, and then about 100 years later they were done, probably because of drought and so forth, and that's when they had to leave, and then they were not discovered until about 600 years later by some ranchers that were ranching their cattle in that area. So right here it explains the value of yucca, yucca being the desert plant that is grown all over the place, and they made a rope out of it, they made baskets out of it, they made shoes. Shoes, sandals, even brushes, and
even tea.
Yes, tea, and the lady yesterday explained, that the root you can also use for soap and shampoo. So right here it shows what kind of things they planted themselves. They had squash, they had beans, they had corn. They would make flour out of the corn and basically make bread out of it. Okay guys, let's head over. We gotta go to our tour. So we got 10 minutes off to the tour. It's 250 yards from the parking lot where we have to go. And it's right underneath us. So the cliff dwelling is underneath us. So we actually don't meet here where it says ticket holders please wait for ranger. We actually have to go back up to the parking lot and then walk all the way over there, because that's where the ladders go down. So now we found out why we're not starting where it says we're supposed to start, because they have rockfall danger. So we're actually starting at the end of the tour where the ladders are. We're going to climb down and then the same way back up at the end. So this is the descent now. Pretty big group. This is a World Heritage Site, the very first one in the United States, one of 24, like the Taj Mahal or the pyramids in Egypt.
Good and safe. Linus,
Genau.
I think after this ladder, there's another ladder. It does. And another one.
Yeah, there are 3 ladders now.
3 ladders. 8 to 10 feet.
Eli. Yeah, I know that, but it's...
You guys can do it. Come on, let's keep going.
Daddy?
Yeah, I'm coming. Just waiting for
I think going up won't be that scary.
No, it won't be. You got it. Come on, let's keep walking.
No.
We wish, huh?
This isn't bad at all.
No, this is great. Love it. Wow.
Jakob, stay on the tree.
Jakob, stay on the tree.
Way, how did that special thing change your life, and how is it that they moved into the canyons and built the cliff dwelling? So let's look at some of those questions. In the earlier geologic time, we think Alaska was connected to Asia during an earlier ice age. Some folks may have wandered over on this Bering Land Bridge.
That's the roof. That's the roof.
That's a kiva, actually.
Look at here.
And what's your name, young man? Linus can tell us what the name of this room is. It has a very special name, and the answer is?
Kiva.
Kiva. Where does the name Kiva come from?
From the
From our
Hinobi.
Hopi friends, northern Arizona. They have underground rooms that are used primarily for ceremonies, and they call them kivas. Here at Mesa Verde National Park. To look in to see a surprise on the 3rd floor, I'm going to permit you. Please don't touch anything
Wie es dann aussieht.
Ihn, nicht anfassen.
Doch, er hat gesagt, dass das hier.
Da darf man anfassen.
Türöffnung darf man anfassen.
So, Linus, kannst du jetzt jemanden vorbei?
Der nächste bitte.
Eli.
Der nächste.
Guck mal nach oben. Wow. Wo sind die anderen? Ah, da.
Was ist das da oben?
Eli, keep going. We've already looked in.
Nee, einfach.
Don't touch it. Just look at it, okay? Don't touch it. That's the corn. Come on, let's keep going. Man, we gotta go.
The corn is that far next to the window.
We're going out. You gotta go.
Okay. Let's get going.
Wieder stop.
Just a little piece of advice at the end here for the Cliff Palace. If you decide to do the tour like we did, try to be at the beginning of the people going down the ladder, because then you have more time to look around while everybody else is coming down. We were at the end tail, which meant we had to wait longer to get down, and at the end he didn't let us look longer. We just had to go back with everybody else because the ranger was the very last person to go up the steps. So for what it's worth. So this is Soda Canyon Overlook Trail. It's 1.2 miles round trip, and from there you can see Balcony House, which is also cliff dwelling, kind of like the one we just went to, but higher up, or just harder to get to, I should say. So if you're not scared of heights, do that one, but they don't start until the middle of May with the tours there. Almost there. So over there's the balcony with the ladder on the right. I don't know if you can see it on the video. And interestingly, the ranger said that more than half of all the forest, all the trees here in the national park has burned over the last 25-30 years. And it takes 400 years for it to grow back. They tried to replant some trees, but they all died. And it's basically because the forest has to come back, growing back in from the edges, so that the trees have shade from one another, so they don't dry up. So this is Soda Canyon now. The other one was the balcony cliffs overlook. You can see it also from here, but a little bit better from the other side. And it is windy. Okay. Time to head home back.
You can see the sky. A lot of pictures. I saw a bus. I saw an airplane. I saw an Indian.
Wow. But not a lot of animals. We haven't seen a lot of animals yet. So we came back to the museum now because there's the spruce tree house right here that we haven't looked at yet. And also Melanie didn't take pictures of everything that she wanted to take pictures of. So that's why we're back. Luckily they're open until 6:30 because there's just so much to see here. Oh.
Linus, it's closed.
Linus,
Stop.
stop up here. There's a big old sign in the middle, but hey, we could just keep going.
I don't think because it's so close.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's best intact?
No, I think the one we went to is the one that's best
Nee,
intact.
das ja.
Wegen den Dächern auch und so?
Ja.
Ja, das kann sein. So we couldn't help. On our way down, we stopped here at Farview Community. They actually built these before they did the cliff dwellings. This was the center of town right here. Farview House. Das war hier die Innenstadt sozusagen. Das Farview House. This is the Pipe Shrine House. No, you can't go in there. Just walk around and look inside.
So boring.